Hello dear students in grade 6, this is Miss Monaya. Our session for today is about the use of to and enough. These two words, to and enough, are used to describe the amount of something. For example, let's look at these slides to clarify the difference between the two. To and enough are both used to describe something, as we said, or give more information about it. To is usually followed by many or few if the noun we want to describe is a plural count noun, like students, like books, tables, whatever the noun we can count. For example, too many students registered for the competition. What does this mean? When I say too many students, it means I expected a certain number of students to come, but the number that attended or came to participate in the competition was way more. For example, I expected 10 people to participate in the competition, but eventually 30 people came, so the number was way more than I expected. Another example to clarify the point would be there were too few parking spaces at the mall. When I went to the mall, I expected the parking space to be empty, but I found that it was almost full. So too few means almost full. To can also be used with other quantifiers, especially much and little, if the nouns we want to describe are non-count nouns. For example, we had too little time for the test. This means that the students did not have enough time to finish the test. The time they were given was way less than they needed in order to finish the test. Let's look at another example. When I say the salesman gave me too much change, look at the picture. Is this a small amount of change or a big amount of change? Of course it's a big amount. If you were at a store and the salesman gave you all your money in coins, would you be happy about that? No, this would be too much change for you. So it would be much more than you expect or need. Enough, on the other hand, can be used with plural count or non-count nouns. For example, I can say there isn't enough milk to bake a cake. Look at the amount of milk in the glass. Is this enough for you to make a cake? Of course not. I can also use it in a positive sense to say that a certain quantity is enough. For example, there are enough eggs to make an omelette. 6 eggs is way more than needed to make an omelette. On the other hand, to and enough can be used with adjectives only without the use of any other quantifiers. But the structure varies. If I use to, it has to come before the adjective. But with enough, enough comes after the adjective. For example, the weather is too cold today. To comes first, then it's followed by the adjective. And here we're expressing to what degree it is cold. It's too cold. Look at the boy, he's shivering from cold. This means that it is too cold to be outside in this weather. As for the second example, Jim is tall enough to reach the branches. Here we're talking about Jim's ability to reach. Since he is tall, he is tall enough to reach the branches of the tree. First comes the adjective, then it's followed by enough. Let's practice using to and enough with these examples. The boy is to drive a real car, and I have to use the adjective young. This man is to drive a real car, and here the adjective to be used is old. Is the boy too young to drive? Or is he young enough to drive? Which one is the correct answer? This man is too old to drive a real car, or he is old enough to drive a real car? Let's see. The boy is too young to drive a real car, whereas this man is old enough to drive the real car. Pay attention to the place of to and enough before the adjective. In the first example, to comes before the adjective, whereas in the second one, enough comes after the adjective. For further practice of 2 and enough, refer to your Focus on Grammar book, Level 2, Lesson 28, and solve the activities on your grammar copybook. Thank you.